Internal authority, it isn't a threat to faith, it's evidence of it. Hello, my friends. Come on in. It's always great to spend time with you. If you're a steady listener, welcome back. And if this is your first time joining me, I am so glad you found your way here. An extra warm welcome to you. I'm Lucy Ann, and here at Amazing by Design, we intentionally take a pause from the noise and the busyness of our everyday life, and we come together to have honest conversations about faith, identity, and what it looks like to live connected with God from the inside out, without pressure or performance. Let me start today with a question that might feel simple, but yet it carries more weight than we often realize. Who are you waiting on to say it's okay? Okay to rest, okay to speak, okay to choose differently, okay to trust what you already sense is true. Many women don't realize that they're waiting for permission because it doesn't feel like waiting. It feels more like being responsible, being wise, being considerate. But underneath that, there's often this quiet hesitation that says, I'll move once someone else confirms this is okay. And that's worth sitting with today. Most of us were never taught to trust ourselves in partnership with God. We learned, often subtly, that clarity comes from outside of us, that confidence needs confirmation, that peace requires agreement. So we learn to look outward for permission. We wait for reassurance, approval, or affirmation before taking a step. Over time, that becomes a normal pattern, not because of weakness, but because it was learned behavior. Seeking counsel isn't the problem. Scripture tells us that there is wisdom in the multitude of counsel. It becomes a problem when outside voices grow louder than the one that God is shaping within you. Here's what I've seen, both in my own life and in the lives of the women I walk with. When you wait for permission, you delay decisions you already feel peace about. You override your own knowing. You explain yourself more than necessary. And you shrink clarity with questions. And it's not because you lack wisdom, but because you've been taught not to trust it. And eventually, something inside you grows tired. Not angry, just quietly worn down from holding back. Then something changes. You don't suddenly become bold. You don't burn bridges. You don't stop caring. You simply notice this. I don't actually need anyone to tell me this is okay. That realization doesn't come from rebellion or pride. It comes from maturity, from alignment, from a growing internal steadiness. from intimacy with God. It's the moment you realize God has already been leading you, and you've been hearing Him more clearly than you thought. One of the most freeing shifts that I've come to understand is this: I am responsible for responding to what God is asking of me. I can seek counsel, I can receive wisdom, but the decision to move belongs between me and God. Walking with God, it's internal work. God isn't asking you to bypass discernment. He's forming it within you. Internal authority, it isn't a threat to faith. It's evidence of it. Because relationship builds trust. And trust, that's what produces confidence. Not arrogance, not independence, but a grounded assurance that allows you to move forward even when others don't yet understand. I've noticed personally that when I stopped looking for permission, something unexpected happened. I became calmer, clearer, less reactive. I stopped over-explaining, stopped rehearsing conversations over and over in my head, stopped needing everyone to be comfortable before I was. Not because I stopped caring, but because I started standing. And the more I stood, the more peace followed. Living without permission, it doesn't mean living without wisdom. It means you listen deeply, you move thoughtfully, you trust the timing of clarity, and you let your yes and no be clean. It's choosing alignment over approval. It's deciding your life doesn't require a committee to move forward. Let that sink in for just a moment. Your life doesn't require a committee to move forward. So today, if something inside you is whispering, I already know, you're not ahead of yourself, you're not being reckless, and you're definitely not missing anything. You may be stepping into deeper alignment. The kind that doesn't wait to be validated. The kind that doesn't need permission to breathe. It's living in freedom, trusting your discernment, walking in partnership with God without fear of missteps, because you trust that God is for you and not against you. Before we close, I'll leave you with this to just sit with. Where have you been pausing? Not because you're unsure, but because you're waiting for permission. And what might shift if you didn't? You don't need to answer that right now. You don't need to decide anything before you leave this space. Just notice what's stirring. Let that stay with you as you move back into the rest of your day. And if this conversation felt grounding, if it felt like a place you could exhale and think honestly, you're always welcome back here. We gather in this space each week to slow things down, to listen beneath the noise, and to keep learning how to live from who we truly are. There's a link in the show notes if you feel led to connect more deeply. It's there if and when it feels right for you. For now, take this with you as you go. You don't need permission to be who God designed you to be. You are chosen, you are loved, and you are amazing by design.